Irv Gotti was on Drink
Hmm.
Champs, right? And
Yeah.
he told the story, the behind the music
Hmm.
of Murder Inc. And specifically, the thing that I think raised eyebrows was the relationship between him and Ashanti.
Which was so unnecessary and just so messy. And it's
Yeah,
like, my thing is nobody cares who anybody slept with 20 years ago.
right,
You know,
right.
it just doesn't matter. It's one of those things like where somebody says, they slept with so and so in high school. I had them back in the day. I used to have a friend on the block, and he used to always say, like, yo, like there was a crackhead, right?
Mm.
And he was like, yo, I took Shorty down back in the 80s and she was bad. And I'm like, what is this? Yeah, like this is very weird.
Like, is that your trophy right now?
It's
Like,
just he was like, no, but y'all ain't see her back then. I'm like, yo, I don't even know what to do with
but
that.
that's a
You know what I'm
lot
saying?
like Irv Gotti because it's like this is not to your credit, right? Like when you
Right.
bring up old shit like that, it's
Yeah.
it's like I feel like everyone looks bad, and I feel like he retold what could have been a really interesting story in a
Yeah.
way that makes everyone look bad.
Yeah, I think obviously there's obviously a lot of bitterness there. A lot of
Hmm.
people are pointing to this as, maybe he's still in love with her, he's still feeling type. This is not about love.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
this
that's
is
true.
about Ashanti like releasing herself from the shackles, at least that's
Yeah,
how she would look at
yeah,
it, of the situation and finding love that made sense for her. Now, we're not going to act
right,
like either of them were good actors at the time because
right,
Irv was dealing with his wife, or Irv had a wife, not dealing.
right, right, right,
And
right,
Ashanti was at that time, his young protege.
right.
And a lot of these things can be true. He was responsible for her sound. She had been signed before. He
True.
was able to help her not with her pen because Ashanti does write. Let's be fair, but as
Okay.
far as like just encouraging her to make really great music. But there's an abusive dynamic there too. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
say
I
that.
mean, I was
I
gonna ask,
know.
is that a Me
Yeah.
Too
Yeah,
situation
like
kind of like?
she was grown, so grown people are gonna do what they do. But a lot of these things, when they happen that way, they're also like in hindsight, you could have done better, and things could have just been different. And you can look at those things in hindsight and not have to make them messy because
Yes.
Ashanti's like in her 40s now.
Right, right, right,
Yeah. So, and she probably looking like, damn, like I was messing with this guy 10 years my senior, looking at it like, okay, never gonna do that again. It's a learning experience.
right,
But he's
right.
holding on to it like this thing, like, I own her, or yeah, I was in love with her, and she had the nerve to go off with Nelly. Well, that was a relationship. That was her and Nelly were together. They
Yeah,
were not creeping on anybody. That was a relationship,
right.
And for both, I mean, I think for Ashanti and for her part with Irv Gotti at that particular time, that what was probably very real to her too, until she
Mhm.
realized that, like, this is probably not the best thing for me, and that's why she needed to release herself from that situation. I just don't understand why he's so embittered by her decision to be free, when anybody that looks through this in a mature lens would understand completely where she's coming from and why she's not even copping to any of this, because why talk about it?
Yeah, right. I don't think you give that juice, right? Like it,
Hmm.
because like clearly he wants that to
Hmm.
give him some juice, which is so odd to me because I feel like he's transitioned into a legitimate producer career in the television space, right?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
he did Tales,
Hmm.
he's got his own right now, and I think for him to dredge that up, it makes me feel sorry for his wife actually. Like
Yes,
it's
she's
like
just
he
getting
he
beat
he feels
down.
nothing for his wife to be doing this.
It's like he just keeps reopening the wound year
Right.
after year, and just bringing it up and bringing it up like it's nothing. And just by
Right.
all accounts, anybody will say his wife is like the sweetest woman. Just like,
Right.
is this even fair to have to
And
go through
you
this?
could tell she's merciful because she's
Hmm.
the one who has to deal with what's behind those veneers on a day to day. You know what I mean? Like she's
Are they
dealing with
still married? I don't even know that, so I'm not even sure if she's still dealing with
that's
it. But
actually
you
a
know what?
good question. And that's a
But
great
they're
question.
they're and I always say this too, but they're a family. They have children, so it's not
Yes.
even just his wife we're talking about here. These are the things that you're saying, and you have children. What are your children thinking about this? Because
Right.
not for nothing, even when your children look at Ashanti, like Ashanti looks damn good.
Yeah.
Looks just as
She
good
looks
as she
great.
did. Looks beautiful, great, still in
Yeah.
shape, still just as pretty as she was back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's like she's still someone that your children would even salivate over. So
Yeah.
how does dad look talking greasy like this? And it's like, that's my mom
Mm.
you're embarrassing.
Yeah,
I don't,
for
I just
real.
don't like that. Hmm.
Ashanti, she's Essence Fest ready. You know what I mean? Like she's like
Hmm.
that peak. Like I have a theory. Me and one of my homies, Cab, have this theory about 40-year-old Black women, how like 40-year-old Black women are actually the best like human specimen on the planet.
Why is this?
Like I feel like, okay, if you look at a 40, because like look, 40-year-old Asian women aren't doing bad for themselves.
No, they're not. They look great.
They look great. But I think 40-year-old Black women, that's like just real peak time. Like if you look at any of the actresses we know as like beautiful classic beauties anyway, look up the picture when they turn 40, and it's like it is unmatched.
Like
I'm talking like Nia Long, Regina King, Regina Hall. Like when it hit 40, it's like just the perfect age of like all the melanin is intact, like the posture, the fucking readiness, the confidence. And I feel like Ashanti, yeah, I mean, you know for life, for life's challenges. And Ashanti, she's an excellent example of like someone who's aged so well and so gracefully too. Like when you're in entertainment and I think there's this tendency, and we talked about this with like some of the younger stars, right?
Yeah. Where,
you know, their partying kind of catches up to them, right? Like male or female, the partying will catch up to you. And I don't think that's what happened to her. I think she was at the spa, she was in the gym, she was eating right, and it shows.
Yeah, the only thing we ever see with Ashanti is she is on a beach.
Yes.
She's kicking it. She's having a good time.
Yes.
She's looking relaxed. She's low stress. And I think in the interview with Angie Martinez, if I recall correctly, I think she's pescatarian, and for quite a long time. And I think she was even saying that she was vegan at some points.
Wow.
So she's somebody that really does, you know, it's a lifestyle thing. It's not, you know, kind of a phase. You know, people jump into like, I'm vegan for a few. I've done that too, where I was like vegan for like 5 months or something like that.
Right.
Whatever.
How did you manage that? Like the Chick-fil-A, and like, how did you, what was going on?
Well, you know, McDonald's fries are vegan.
They absolutely are.